Have you ever felt like the person you are today is just a ghost of who you used to be? Take a moment, go back. Try to remember a version of yourself from 5, maybe 10 years ago. You might remember a time when you could disappear into a book for 3 hours straight, losing track of the world outside. You remember a time when you could work on a hobby, write in a journal, or simply sit on a porch and daydream without the nagging, itchy urge to reach for a pocket-sized distraction. You had a sovereign mind back then. You were the captain of your attention. But now, sitting still for 10 minutes without scrolling feels like physical torture. You feel like your brain is broken, and the most terrifying part isn't the lost time. It's the feeling of powerlessness. It's the feeling that you are watching your own life from the back row of a theater, while someone else, or more accurately, an algorithm is holding the remote. If you feel this, I want you to stop, just for a second. Breathe. I am not here to lecture you. I'm not here to tell you to just work harder. I'm here because I've felt it too. And I want to tell you a truth that is being deliberately hidden from you. You are not lazy. You are not undisciplined. And you haven't failed as a human being. Your focus didn't just wither away naturally like an old leaf. Your focus is being stolen. Think of your mind as a home, a beautiful, quiet sanctuary. Inside, there are rooms for creating, rooms for loving, and rooms for dreaming. But right now, there is an invisible thief entering through the back door, through the pocket of your jeans. This thief is sophisticated. He doesn't want your money. He wants something far more precious, your presence. In the world of neuroscience, our ability to focus is governed by a remarkable piece of biological machinery called the Prefrontal Cortex (PFC). This is the seat of human brilliance. It's the part of the brain that allowed us to build cathedrals, solve complex equations, and feel deep, soul-stirring empathy. But the PFC has a massive weakness. It is an energy hog. It tires easily. It's like a high-performance CEO who needs total silence and a lot of rest to make big decisions. On the other side of your brain lies an ancient, primitive part called the limbic system. It doesn't care about your long-term goals or your soul's purpose. It only cares about survival and instant gratification. And right now, it is being hijacked. Every time you hear that ping of a notification or see that red bubble on an app icon, your limbic system screams with joy. It's getting a hit of dopamine. But here is the secret. Dopamine isn't about pleasure. It's about anticipation. It's the itch that tells you something new is happening. It keeps you searching, keeps you swiping, keeps you waiting for a reward that never actually satisfies you. It's a craving for more, not a feeling of enough. While your limbic system is throwing a frantic, neon-lit party, your prefrontal cortex, the CEO of your life, is passed out from exhaustion. It's being forced to work overtime to process thousands of pieces of junk, information that you never asked for. This is why, when you finally sit down to do something that matters, your head feels heavy. There's a thick, gray fog behind your eyes. This isn't a lack of will. It's a biological shutdown. We call it digital overwhelm, but in reality, your brain is just trying to survive a flood it wasn't built to swim in. You likely spend a lot of time hating yourself for this. You call yourself an addict. You look at your screen time report with a sense of deep, quiet shame. But let's be honest for a moment. How could you possibly win against thousands of the smartest engineers in Silicon Valley? These are people paid millions of dollars to study your weaknesses. They use supercomputers to figure out exactly which shade of red makes your heart rate spike, and exactly which schedule will keep you scrolling just 5 minutes longer. This isn't a fair fight. It's like trying to win a sword fight against a heat-seeking missile. The thief knows you better than you know yourself. He knows that when you're lonely, you'll look for connection in a comment section. He knows that when you're anxious, you'll look for a fix in a news cycle. He has mapped the architecture of your brain and turned your own survival instincts against you. And because we are social creatures, we feel the pressure to keep up. If we don't respond to that message in 5 minutes, are we a bad friend? If we don't know the latest viral trend, are we becoming irrelevant? We are living in a state of hypervigilance. Our brains think we are in a jungle, surrounded by predators, when in reality, we're just sitting on a sofa looking at a piece of glass. This constant state of high alert is draining your soul's battery. Your CEO is so busy scanning for imaginary threats that he has no energy left to help you write that book, finish that project, or simply sit and be present with the person you love. Today, we aren't going to talk about productivity hacks. We aren't going to talk about becoming a more efficient robot. We are going to talk about the way home. We are going to talk about how to evict the thief from your sanctuary. Because beneath that digital fog, beneath the dopamine crashes and the fractured attention, the real you is still there. That person who could read for hours. They didn't die. They're just trapped under a mountain of noise. The first step to reclaiming your mind is to stop the war with yourself. The shame you feel is a weight that prevents you from moving. If you can understand that your struggle is a biological reaction to an engineered environment, you can stop asking what is wrong with me and start asking how do I protect myself in the parts to come. We will dive into the science of the popcorn brain, how our neural pathways are actually changing, and finally, we will look at the road back. Not a road to the 1990s, but a road to a future where you own your mind again. Your attention is your life. What you give your attention to, you give your life to. If you give it to an algorithm, you are giving your life to a machine. But if you take it back, if you learn to sit in the quiet again, you might just find that life is a lot bigger than 5.5 inches of glass. Close your eyes for a moment. Can you feel the thief leaving the room? Let's begin. Have you ever noticed that the world seems to be moving faster, yet you're getting less done? Or that your mind feels like a browser with 50 tabs open, and 3 of them are playing music you can't find? In the scientific community, there is a term that has started to emerge to describe what you're feeling. It's called popcorn brain. It's the sensation that your thoughts are no longer a calm, flowing river, but a series of erratic explosions. You're jumping from a work email to a news headline, then to a text message, then to a video of someone's vacation, all within the span of 60 seconds. Your brain has become so accustomed to the rapid-fire stimulation of the digital world that it has literally forgotten how to be still. But to understand why this is happening and why it feels so painful, we have to look at the physical architecture of your mind. We have to look at what's happening beneath the surface of your skull. Your brain is a masterpiece of adaptation. It is designed to change based on what you ask it to do. This is called neuroplasticity. In a natural world, this is a gift. It allows you to learn new languages, play instruments, and adapt to new environments. But neuroplasticity is a double-edged sword. It doesn't distinguish between good habits and bad ones. It only recognizes repetition. When you spend hours every day on platforms designed for infinite scroll, you are effectively training your brain. You are telling your neurons, I no longer need to go deep. I only need to go fast. Every time you swipe, you are performing a context switch. And here is the hidden cost that big tech doesn't want you to think about. Every switch leaves a residue on your brain. Science calls this attention residue. Even after you put the phone down, a part of your mind is still stuck on that last video, that last argument in the comments, or that last email. Your focus isn't a light switch that you can just flip back and forth. It's more like a heavy engine. Every time you turn it off and on again, You burn a massive amount of fuel and create wear and tear on the machinery. Now, imagine doing that 500 times a day. Is it any wonder you feel exhausted even when you haven't done anything? Let's talk about a substance called myelin. In neuroscience, myelin is like the gold standard of focus. It's a fatty tissue that wraps around your nerve fibers. Think of it as the insulation on an electrical wire. The thicker the myelin, the faster and more accurately the signal travels. When you focus on one thing for a long time, deep work, deep reading, deep conversation, you are building myelin. You are turning a dirt path in your brain into a high-speed fiber optic cable. This is the state of flow. It's where your best work happens. It's where your soul feels most alive. But popcorn brain is the enemy of myelin. When you jump from task to task every 30 seconds, you never stay on one path long enough for the myelin to grow. You are keeping your brain in a state of perpetual amateurism. You're not just losing time, you are literally thinning the insulation of your mind. You are making your brain leak energy. And then there's the death of boredom. The death of boredom. In the past, boredom was the most productive state a human could be in. When we were bored, our brains entered the default mode network. This is the state where the brain begins to auto-sort its memories, solve problems in the background, and spark creativity. But today, we have declared war on boredom. We kill every 5-second gap standing in an elevator, waiting for the microwave, sitting at a red light by reaching for a screen. We have stuffed every white space in our lives with digital noise. By killing boredom, we have accidentally killed our ability to think for ourselves. We have traded our original thoughts for a curated feed of other people's opinions. We are no longer the authors of our own internal monologue. We are just the audience for a machine-generated script. You might feel this restlessness when you try to put the phone away. You feel an itch, a phantom vibration in your pocket. You feel a sense of dread in the silence. This isn't because you're a weak person. It's because your brain has been rewired to crave a constant drip of dopamine just to feel normal. You are in a state of high alert. Your amygdala, the brain sphere center, thinks that if you aren't connected, you are being left behind by the tribe. It's an evolutionary trap. The machine has convinced your ancient brain that information is the same thing as survival. It has made you feel that if you stop scrolling, you might miss something vital. But let me ask you, out of the thousands of things you scrolled past yesterday, how many do you actually remember? How many actually changed your life for the better? Probably 0. We are drowning in information, but we are starving for wisdom. We are connected to everyone, yet we feel more isolated than ever. This is the crisis of the scattered mind. It's a spiritual exhaustion masquerading as a technical problem. But here is the hope. Just as your brain was trained to be scattered, it can be trained to be still. Your myelin can grow back. Your default mode network is still there, waiting for a few minutes of silence to wake up. The damage isn't permanent. But the cure requires something that feels very scary in the modern world. It requires you to be unproductive for a while. It requires you to let the popcorn stop popping and let the seeds rest in the dark. Are you ready to stop the noise and hear your own voice again? So, here we are. We've identified the thief. We've looked at the science of the damage. We've acknowledged the popcorn brain and the thinning of the myelin that once protected our peace. Now comes the most important question. How do we get back? How do we take back the keys to our own minds from an algorithm that never sleeps? The road back isn't a sprint. It's a series of small, intentional rebellions. It's not about becoming a monk or moving to a cabin in the woods, though that sounds lovely sometimes. It's about building a fortress around your attention while living in the middle of a noisy wood. It's about learning to be unproductive so that you can finally become purposeful. The first step on this road is something I call the compassionate pause. Most people try to fix their focus. With willpower, they set harsh timers, they delete their apps in a fit of rage, and they promise to never scroll again. But willpower is a finite resource, and shame is a terrible fuel. When you fail, and you will, because the machines are designed to make you fail. The shame only makes you reach for the phone again to numb the pain. Instead, I want you to try compassion. The next time you feel that phantom itch in your palm, that desperate urge to check your notifications, I want you to just notice it. Don't fight it. Don't judge it. Just say to yourself, my brain is asking for a hit of dopamine right now. It feels anxious because it's been trained to be loud. It's okay. By naming the feeling, you move the control from your primitive limbic system back to your prefrontal cortex. You create a tiny gap between the impulse and the action, and in that gap lies your freedom. That 3-second pause is the first brick in the wall of your new fortress. The second step is the reclamation of white space. We talked about how we've killed boredom. To heal, we must invite boredom back to the table. We need to create digital Sabbaths or sanctuary zones in our day. I'm not asking for much. Start with the first hour rule. When you wake up, your prefrontal cortex is in a delicate, semi-plastic state. If the first thing you do is invite the entire world, the news, the emails, the social media drumming to your bed, you have surrendered your day. Before it even began, you have set your CEO on fire before he could even have his coffee. Spend that first hour in the white space. Walk, pray, write, sit. Let your brain do its background sorting. You will feel a strange anxiety at first, a fear of missing out. Sit with it. It's just your brain rebooting. After a few days, that anxiety will be replaced by something you haven't felt in years. Clarity. Then, find the micro boredom moments. When you're waiting for an elevator, don't reach for the phone. When you're standing in line at the grocery store, just stand there. Look at the people around you. Notice the architecture of the ceiling. You are training your focus muscle that it doesn't need constant stimulation to survive. You are proving to your brain that you are safe in the silence. The third step is the art of monotasking. In a world that praises multitasking, I want you to become a monotasker. It is a radical act. When you eat, just eat. When you listen to a friend, put your phone face down on the table, or better yet, leave it in the car. There is a profound healing that happens when you give someone your undivided attention. It's the greatest gift you can give another human being, and it's the greatest gift you can give yourself. Every time you finish one single task without switching tabs, you are laying a new layer of myelin. You are repairing the insulation of your mind. And finally, you must redefine what it means to be informed. We have been lied to. We've been told that we need to know everything, everywhere, all at once. But human beings weren't built to carry the weight of 1,000 global tragedies in their pockets. We were built to care for our neighbors, our families, and our craft. It is okay to not know what happened on the other side of the world 10 minutes ago. It is okay to be out of the loop if it means you are in the room with your own life. You are not a news aggregator. You are a soul. Reclaiming your focus isn't about doing more. It's about becoming more. It's about realizing that your life is the sum of what you paid attention to. When you reach the end of your journey, you won't wish you had scrolled more. You won't wish you had seen more viral videos. You will wish you had been there truly, therefore the sun sets. The difficult conversations and the quiet moments of creation. The thief only has as much power as you give him. Today, you can choose to take a piece of your life back. Start small. After this video ends, I want you to do something radical. Don't click on the next recommendation. Don't check the comments yet. Just put your device down. Walk to a window and just look out for 3 minutes. Listen to the world. Listen to your own breathing. Welcome back to the real world. We've missed you.